From my window, I can see a wall, a ridge dividing two worlds, a fault, a flaw between city and mountain. It's a strange reflection in rock, informing them of what they are, by revealing just what they are not. As an end to each, it defines them both. Most of my life I've spent in its base. It was always there, invisible in a way. Something you forget until it's gone. That apparent absence stuck in the back of my mind. A razor of doubt. I hated the feeling. That lingering anxiety. It's like you don't know where you are. I used to feel so confident, here in my world. I knew it so well. Every motion measured and met with precise result. A synthetic pattern etched perfect structures on the flat ground of repetition and routine. All of it for a manufactured order of a certain future. It's like a story that already knows its own end. I guess I'd found comfort with that sense of inevitability. But I went into that other world, the one you can't see, behind all that dirt. There, the earth rises up, peels back the skin, and shows what's underneath. It's a crumbling world, a true world, a sincere one. I returned with a little more doubt, more aware of things I'd forgotten. Those missing things, bleached into my mind. Now, as I stared at the wall, it's like it wasn't even there. I like to dream, muse on things I might do, make plans and tell myself stories, extrapolations from what I knew and all I could see from my bedroom window. I enjoyed the fantasy, I'll admit. It felt real in a way. It was easy to put them off with the word someday. That way they'd stay in the future. Always in the future. If I never chased them, I'd never find out that they were only just pretend. If you never reach for your dreams, you'll never find them out of reach. Leave them in the clouds and you can keep the fantasy of having them someday. But in truth, you never will. What's the point of dreams if you're only ever dreaming? So I made a promise to a stranger. A real commitment to meet him in Wisconsin as an adventurer. I was a novice then. It's hard to see faraway things. To make plans when you don't know much. 7 months felt like more than enough. I was wrong. With each step of my plan, I learned more about myself, how little I knew and how little I was able. As I challenged my beliefs, so many turned out wrong. It was all so much harder than I thought. 5 months it took me to just get the basics ready. When I set out for a test run to see what I missed, I'd come back from a struggle, unsure of myself. I had so little time left. Just over a month. Was that enough? There were still things left I had to do. And so much of what I'd already done I'd left in the margins. How close was I willing to cut it? Was I just being reckless, putting myself in danger? Could I keep my promise? Should I keep it? My panicked mind lost itself then, somewhere in the noise. But my eyes drifted out the window, to a wall I'd long forgotten. Here, the ridge shields the front range. A wall of rock is nearly nothing compared to the tall peaks behind it, whose ground insults the sky. Further south, it twists away towards the lonely mass of Pikes Peak. Between nothing and nothing, it echoes into bastions, repeating for miles, like a recurring dream, a story told over and over, never finding its end. Keep your word, my father used to say. The phrase stuck in my head. You can know a man by his word. I guess promises are telling. They force you to account for all that you are, your beliefs, your values, your abilities, desires. All challenged to prove their validity. Nothing is ever real until you take it to account, and all those worries might just be pretend. What would it say of me if I gave up now and surrendered my dream to a guess? If I didn't give my earnest, right down to the end? I had to be sincere. I had to be true. Nothing tells the truth quite so well as dirt, I think. I guess in time it'll tell the truth of all of us. And on that day, there will be no more pretending.
So I guess this is the first day I'm gonna go practice in the Rampart range.
It's gonna be a hot day. So I headed for the wall, to challenge what I am, to see my own reflection in the stone. Here, in the Rampart range. If you want to get anywhere, then it's best to start by finding where you are. Ah, the bike. What a work of art she was. So capable and refined. I knew her every piece. I certainly didn't know how to use her. What's the point in having something you don't know how to use?
Well, let's hope I don't die. This is the first real time I'll be riding alone.
I was arrogant. By never pushing my limits, I was safe from knowing what I couldn't do. And keeping to the easy trails and smooth dirt roads, I was unaware of any real challenge.
Damn it, I ended up in the roller coaster hills by accident.
For every misstep, I found some justification. It was hot, just this once. I was tired. All this kept me safe from the fear that I might not be good enough, or the knowledge that I had to be.
Yeah, I'd say I'm still very much a beginner. Whoa.
A blindfold protects you from your fear of heights. But unless you're standing still, it only serves to magnify the real danger. You might wander off a cliff and not know it was even there.
Damn it.
Through a lack of awareness, we're only safe from ourselves. And all those insecurities that come with us. I had a habit of making excuses. Inventing problems, roadblocks to keep myself safe from the fear of what's ahead. Every dream starts with one. If only. If I had the time, the money, the bike, the gear. But what if I had all these things and still failed? I'd either be fundamentally incapable of achieving my dream, or even worse, given the chance, I'd choose not to. And it's only a dream to me. It's not so bad when you're bound by something else. There's not much guilt in that. Only disappointment. When you have something to blame. Keep your word, my father would say. He never expected much else of me. Only that I stood by what I said. That my words carried weight. That I would follow through with diligence, taking responsibility for the consequences of what I'd say. He resented excuses more than any truth he didn't like. Promises lacking countenance, outright lies and rationalizations. Empty words come from empty men. And a man whose word means nothing is nothing. There is no value in hollow men. I drifted away from my father, finding safety in the distance. It was easier to live disconnected, seeing the world through my window. It didn't matter who I was, if I was accountable to no one, if I made no promises, never gave my word, never meant to get anywhere. I could believe whatever I liked, without contest. My world was one without sin, because I made it so there were none. It's easy to keep your eyes closed to the path to salvation, because you might find that you aren't already on it, and you'd see just how far away you are. I didn't want to be that way anymore. To get anything real, I would have to face reality, peel back all those layers that kept me safe, and see who's beneath. In admitting my flaws, I could no longer pretend they weren't there, but only in knowing them could I have any hope of fixing them.
Oh. I think that's Noddles.
It was the Noddleheads, something I had looked at many times from my window. The Ute people believed that they were once giants, now punished for their sins, frozen in rock to watch themselves crumble. It's only in the end of things that you can really understand what they mean. And it was there that this story would end. In a place where stones made of sand realize their true nature, so would I discover mine. When all that I am would come to account on that day, my judgment day.